Hello and welcome to the comprehensive guide to your clitoris. I am so happy to welcome you here to a deeper understanding of your clitoral body, and a body it is. It has a head, it wears a hood, it has a shaft, and it has legs, and it has bulbs. It has a body. Sounds like a body to me. Does it sound like a body to you? I want you to take a look at this photo. So the photos or the images that you have been looking at of your clitoris are all wrong. They show you this tiny little pearl on the external portion of the vulva, which, yes, there is a tiny portion of the clitoris present there. And you see it here in this image as that little purple bulb that's outside of us, along with the hood that sits on the clitoris. And if you pull the hood back, you can see some of the shaft, like the shaft of a penis. You can see those two pink pieces of cavernosa tissue going back there. So you have this external portion of the clitoris, but as you see, it goes inside, and the corpus cavernosa is that pink part, and it goes back. It has two pieces, just like the male penis, and then it extends into these legs, and this is underneath the pubic bone. It swells up. It's cavernosa tissue, so it has these. You can see in this little cross section up on the top right that it has all these little spaces in it, and the reason it has spaces is because it can fill up with blood. It can engorge, and the more often you engorge it, and the more ability you have to let go and allow yourself to be engorged with blood and aroused and full of desire and pleasure, this area is going to fill up, and it is part of why you have so much pleasure right underneath the mons pubis as you move and stimulate the clitoris, the external clitoris, when you rub up against your partner, when you're on top of them. Some women can access this if they curve their pelvis forward in the missionary, or if they arch their back on hands and knees, and you're getting access to this tissue that's engorged right underneath your pubic bone. So I want you to just take your hands now, find your pubic bone, feel that, reach your hand down a little bit more, feel your clitoris, and then see how from the clitoris you can feel the hood and the shaft, and then underneath that pubic bone, hidden away, but if you kind of rub your pubic bone against your hand, you'll feel a lot of pleasure in there. Now that's because the clitoris is getting stimulated, but also the clitoral shaft and these legs of the clitoris that also with penetration, we get this whole pelvic area gets engorged with blood. So that's the first part of the clitoris. The second part of the clitoris is this purple material that you see. So this is called the vestibular bulb, or the bulb of the vestibule, and it extends out, and it is underneath and attached to the labia minora. So the labia minora is an interesting tissue, the lips of the vagina. The labia majora are these fatty pads, but the minora actually have a mucosal membrane on the inside, non-mucosal on the outside. So it's like where the outside meets the inside. And underneath this labia minora are these vestibular bulbs, and they also swell with blood and when we're aroused. And the thing is, they wrap around the vagina. You see this oval hole here is your vaginal entrance. And so as a penis is going in and out of you, or a sex toy or fingers, when you're aroused, it is stimulating these bulbs. And again, these swell. So we don't see a cross section of them, but they swell to an enormous size. And, I don't want to give away, you've already listened to the course, so I'll tell you, your clitoris keeps growing as you get older. So by the time you reach menopause, it's 7 times larger than it was at birth. So this area is bigger, it fills up with blood, faster, and it creates more surface area, and there's just all this potential for pleasure. And what you can also notice is that above that white vaginal opening, the oval, is the blue urethra. So this is where the pee comes out. And if you stimulate the paraurethral glands, the glands around the urethra, female ejaculate will come out of here. And part of why this urethra, the whole anterior wall of the vagina, you see, is parallel to the urethra. So this purple cavernosa tissue around the urethra swells with blood, and the whole, you can't see it well in this picture because the purple, you can't quite see like how it wraps around the urethra and the top of the vagina, but imagine this whole anterior wall of the vagina is the G spot that can swell up to the size of an almond. Deeper is the A spot that's swelling up and taking the blood and translating it into more and more lubrication into the vagina, and if stimulated in a certain way into the urethra, creates squirts or gushes or sometimes a trickle of female ejaculate, a sweet fluid from the urethra. So you have two types of cavernosa. You have the cavernosa tissue, the pink stuff, and you have the spongiosum tissue. It's not labeled here, but this purple stuff is spongiosum. Guess who has cavernosum and spongiosum tissue? Men do. Men have spongiosum tissue, like that purple stuff, around their urethra. And they have the cavernosa tissue, two pieces of it, just like in the shaft of our clitoris, throughout their penis, and some extending back into their internal body and around their prostate. So, and they also have the prostate tissue, the spongiosum tissue around their urethra. So we have the same, huge amount of potential for pleasure as men have with their penises externally. We just have the majority of our tissue internally. And we have this little bit outside the clitoris, but as you move the external, you see how it activates. It moves the whole internal. It's like I can't move my head without it also vibrating through my body. I can't move my feet without it vibrating through my body. So external stimulation translates to internal stimulation, and then by the time you have penetration into the vagina or into any other orifice of the body, you're so engorged and welcoming, and you can't help but have incredible pleasure. So this is your comprehensive guide to your clitoris. I hope you've enjoyed this course, and enjoy your amazing clitoris. It's incredible, and we have so much more to learn about this through science and our own personal studies. So dive in, let me know what you discover, and have a great day.